Let's be real, brother. Men don't ask this out of insecurity. They ask because deep down they know something feels off. You ever met a woman who's beautiful, charming, knows exactly what to say, how to move, and how to keep your attention? But something inside you whispers, this isn't innocence, it's experience. This video isn't about judging, it's about awareness. Because the truth is, some signs don't lie. Here are 8 hidden signs she's been with a lot of men. The ones most guys overlook until it's too late. 1. Her comfort with intimacy feels too natural. You can feel it right away. The way she looks at you, the way her body language flows, how she moves without hesitation. It's not nervous. It's not awkward. It's practiced. There's a rhythm to it, like someone who's done this dance before. You don't even need to ask questions because something about her energy already answers them. Most women, especially when they're emotionally selective, show a bit of hesitation in the early moments of closeness. They blush, they pause, they giggle nervously, not because they're shy, but because intimacy still means something to them. But a woman who's had many experiences learns to skip that stage. She knows the steps, when to make eye contact, how to breathe, how to pull you in just enough before pulling away again. It's not clumsy or innocent, it's deliberate. Now, some men mistake this for confidence. They think, she's just mature, she knows what she wants. Maybe. But confidence without emotional warmth often signals something else. Repetition. It's the kind of ease that doesn't come from chemistry. It comes from experience. She doesn't seem nervous because she's been here before, mentally, emotionally, and maybe physically too. You might notice she doesn't overthink what she says, doesn't worry about how you'll perceive her. She's trained her emotions to stay light, to never go too deep. It's like she's reading from a script she already memorized. The compliments, the pauses, the little gestures that draw men in. She knows exactly what triggers your curiosity, what melts your guard. But here's the real thing. She's not necessarily doing this to deceive you. Sometimes it's just survival. When a woman's been through many short-lived connections, she learns to adjust. She learns not to expect much, not to feel too much, not to hope too much. What looks like comfort might really be numbness. You'll sense it when you're alone with her. Everything feels smooth, but not deep. It's easy, but not intimate. It's connection without weight, like a song you enjoy, but don't remember the lyrics to. The danger isn't that she's been around. The danger is that she's lost the value of closeness. She knows the mechanics, but not the meaning. And that kind of energy can draw you in fast, because it feels effortless, but it rarely leads to something solid. So pay attention to her comfort. Not the fake one, but the quiet one. Because true intimacy doesn't rush. It trembles a little. It's real enough to make you both nervous. When that's missing, it's not always confidence you're seeing. Sometimes it's emptiness wearing confidence's face. 2. She's emotionally detached. When it matters most, you'll notice it when things start getting real. You share something deep, something personal, and she just nods, smiles, changes the topic. Not cold, just distant. It's like there's an invisible wall between her and any form of emotional depth. See, after too many connections that went nowhere, most people stop diving deep. They learn that feelings hurt, that attachment makes them vulnerable, and that every goodbye cuts a little more each time. So they adjust. They build a version of themselves that can still flirt, still connect, still attract, but not truly attach. She might say things like, "I don't do drama," or "I just like to keep it casual." Sounds fine, right? But what she's really saying is, "I've been through enough heartbreak to stop expecting more. She calls it peace, but it's really protection. And you'll feel that energy. The way she keeps you close, but never too close. The way she shares stories, but skips the vulnerable details. The way she hugs, but her eyes never soften. It's almost like she's half present, body here, mind somewhere else. She doesn't cry easily. She doesn't get jealous much. She doesn't even argue deeply. It's not maturity. It's fatigue. Too many emotional investments that went nowhere. Too many times believing love meant permanence, only to watch it fade. And here's the paradox. She might actually like you a lot, but she's too used to things ending to believe in a lasting bond. So she'll hold back her heart while giving you her time. She'll laugh with you, but never truly let you in. You can't fix this by loving harder. You can't prove yourself enough to melt her walls. Because those walls aren't against you, they're built against her own pain. What you can do is recognize the difference between independence and emotional detachment. One is healthy, the other is protective. One can love freely, the other only from a distance. So when you sense that coldness behind her warmth, don't ignore it. It's not your job to decode her past or heal her wounds. Just understand what kind of bond you're building. Because sometimes a woman's silence doesn't mean she doesn't care. It means she's tired of caring too much. And the saddest part, she might not even realize she's doing it. She's just trying not to break again. 3. She overplays the good girl act. You ever met a woman who tries too hard to prove she's different? The one who says, "I'm not like other girls," or "I hate hookup culture," before you even bring it up. That's not always a red flag, but sometimes it's a mask. A carefully built image meant to hide a story she doesn't want you to see. You'll notice it in small ways. She avoids certain topics, changes the subject if past relationships come up, or insists she's not that kind of girl. But her body language, her jokes, her energy don't always match what she's saying. It's not lying exactly, it's rewriting. See, after a certain number of experiences, guilt starts creeping in. Society judges women harshly for their choices, and she knows that. So she learns how to perform innocence, to protect how you'll see her. It's psychological armor. If she seems a little too sweet, too modest, always trying to seem safe, it's not always purity, it's control. She's steering how you perceive her because she's afraid of being labeled, misunderstood, or rejected. You might see her act shocked when sexual topics come up, or laugh awkwardly to show she's above that. But people who are truly innocent don't need to prove it. They're just themselves. The ones trying hard to appear angelic often carry the heaviest shadows. There's another side to this too. Sometimes the good girl act is her way of starting over. She's trying to reinvent herself, to escape the past. That deserves some empathy, but awareness too. Because until she's honest with herself, she can't be real with you. You'll sense it in her contradictions. She'll say she wants something slow, yet moves fast emotionally. She'll claim she values stability, but her choices keep pulling her toward chaos. It's not evil, it's confusion. A woman fighting between who she was and who she's trying to be. The truth? People who have nothing to hide don't perform their goodness. They just live it quietly. So when you meet a woman who pushes the "I'm different" narrative too much, don't judge, but don't ignore the gap between her words and energy either. Real purity isn't about her past, it's about her peace. If she carries herself with calm honesty, even about mistakes, that's maturity. But when you feel that her innocence is a performance meant to keep you from seeing the truth, trust that feeling. Because when someone's overly busy managing how you see them, it usually means there's something underneath they're still afraid to face. 4. She gets bored too easily in relationships. At first, she's all in. Constant texts, late-night talks, affectionate messages, maybe even emotional depth. You think, this could actually be something. But a few weeks or months later, her energy changes. She's still there, but not there. She starts replying slower. Her tone turns dry. The spark that once felt electric fades. This is a pattern many men ignore because they take it personally. But it's not always about you. Sometimes she's chasing a high that no man can sustain for long. See, when someone has been with a lot of people, their brain gets used to that rush, the thrill of newness, the dopamine spike that comes from being wanted, from starting over. But real love isn't built on spikes. It's built on rhythm. And when that rhythm feels too calm, too familiar, she starts to feel restless. Not because you did anything wrong, but because her nervous system is trained to seek novelty. You'll notice it when she starts picking small fights for no reason, scrolling her phone more, or saying things like, "I just feel like we lost the spark." It's not the spark, it's her attachment to excitement. The danger here is that she confuses excitement with connection. She doesn't understand that love, once it settles, isn't boring, it's secure. But when your past is full of short, emotionally charged flings, calmness feels empty. Peace feels like distance. So she unconsciously sabotages it. She'll pull away, flirt with new people, or disappear emotionally just to feel alive again. She's not evil for it. She's addicted to the falling, not the staying. You can't fix this by trying to entertain her more or being the perfect man. You'll exhaust yourself. Because what she's missing isn't external, it's internal balance. When a woman gets bored too easily, it usually means she hasn't learned to be emotionally still. Her past taught her that attention equals value, and when the attention fades, so does her sense of worth. If you're with someone like that, recognize the pattern early. Don't chase her when she drifts. Let her feel the weight of what peace feels like. Because only then will she start to understand that calm doesn't mean something's missing. It means something real is finally present. 5. Her social media tells a louder story than her words. You can tell a lot about a person by what they post when no one's really paying attention. Not the big birthday photos or the captions about self-love. I'm talking about the small stuff, the tone of her pictures, the timing of her uploads, the kind of attention she quietly hunts for. See, women who've been with a lot of men don't always talk about it. But the craving for attention doesn't disappear when the relationships end. It just changes form. That craving becomes digital. Likes replace validation. Comments replace affection. And her feed becomes a highlight reel of how she wants to be seen, not how she actually feels. If every post feels calculated, perfect angles, teasing poses, mysterious captions about energy and vibes, you're not just looking at confidence. You're looking at someone feeding off attention because it's all they've known. When love becomes temporary, validation becomes the only constant. Watch for the subtle things, the innocent thirst traps, the posts that pretend to be deep but are clearly about appearance, the way she deletes photos when a new guy shows up, or posts something single-coded right after an argument. That's not random. That's communication through performance. Now don't get it twisted. Not every woman who posts herself online is doing it for validation. Some do it for art, for confidence, for fun. But if you notice inconsistency between how she acts in person and how she markets herself online, there's your clue. It's not hypocrisy. It's a split between image and identity. The more her self-worth relies on visibility, the less stable her emotions will be in real connection. Because likes don't last. DMs fade. And when attention is her comfort zone, intimacy feels foreign. like silence after noise. Here's the thing most men miss. Women don't always show their history through stories. They show it through patterns. A woman who's been truly at peace, who's done the inner work, doesn't crave the spotlight. She's not hiding, but she doesn't perform either. She doesn't need to prove beauty, she just is. So when her social media screams louder than her presence, be careful. It doesn't mean she's bad. It means she's lost in the noise. She's learned to feel wanted but not known, desired but not understood. And if you don't notice that early, you'll end up trying to compete with a screen instead of building something real. In today's world, everyone's connected, but few are seen. And when her online self looks perfect while her real self feels restless, that's your sign. 6. Her friend group mirrors her choices. You can tell a woman's mindset by looking at her circle, not by how her friends look, but by how they live. People don't just hang out with anyone. They hang out with mirrors of themselves. So pay attention. If her closest friends are constantly in drama, jumping from one guy to the next, spending weekends at bars, living off attention, she might say she's not like them, but that's who she chose to be around. And that choice reveals more than words ever could. It's rare for someone to hold strong values when everyone around them lives the opposite. Even if she's the quiet one in the group, she still stays for a reason: comfort, familiarity, a shared mindset. Because let's be honest, no one hangs out with people they secretly look down on. You'll notice the small cues, how her friends talk about men, how they treat relationships, what kind of advice they give her. If her friend group mocks loyalty, flirts constantly, or celebrates toxic behavior, that's the environment feeding her thinking. Now you might tell yourself, she's different, she's the calm one. Maybe. But long enough in that energy, and even the calmest person starts changing. Influence is quiet, but it's powerful. You might see her talk about wanting something serious, but spend her nights out with people who make a joke out of love. You might see her say she's over the party scene, yet her best friends are living in it every weekend. That's not coincidence. It's a reflection of the inner conflict she hasn't faced yet. And this doesn't mean she's a bad woman. It means she hasn't yet built the strength to separate herself from unhealthy patterns. Sometimes women stay around chaos because calm feels too lonely. The party feels safe because silence reminds them of what's missing. So don't just listen to her words, observe her tribe. Her friends are a silent confession. They'll tell you where her mindset really lives. And the truth is simple. Women with grounded values, who respect themselves deeply, naturally attract and keep the same kind of women around. If her group is full of gossip, instability, and attention chasing, she might be trying to convince herself she's above it, but she's still breathing that air. And you can't grow clean roots in dirty soil. 7. She talks about exes with too much ease. When a woman's been through many emotional connections, she becomes strangely fluent at talking about her past. She can mention exes casually, even laugh about old situations without a flicker of emotion. It's like she's telling someone else's story, not her own. At first, that might seem refreshing. She's open, honest, not bitter. But look closer. That emotional flatness isn't always peace. Sometimes it's detachment. See, people who've had a few deep connections usually carry emotional residue. They hesitate when bringing up the past because it meant something. There's weight in their tone, reflection in their words. But someone who's been with many partners, emotionally or physically, eventually learns to separate feelings from memory. They turn pain into routine. They stop reflecting and start reciting. You might hear her say things like, "Yeah, it didn't work out, but we had fun," or "We're still cool." And while that sounds mature, what it often hides is numbness. Too many breakups teach the heart to stop attaching fully, because each ending hurts a little less, until it doesn't hurt at all. That's when love turns into habit. You'll feel it when you're with her. She's present but light. You can talk for hours, laugh, even share moments of intimacy, but there's no soul behind her eyes when she speaks of connection. She doesn't believe in forever anymore, even if she says she does. She's lived too many forevers that lasted months, so she talks about the past with no sting, because the past no longer stings. It's just part of the script now. But here's the paradox. That same numbness that protects her from pain also keeps her from deep love. Because to love deeply, you must feel deeply. And when your feelings have been spent on too many temporary bonds, your emotional tank doesn't refill easily. So when you meet a woman who speaks of exes with too much comfort, listen gently. Not to judge, but to understand the emotional cost of experience. Because a woman who's healed will speak with wisdom, not ease. She'll reflect, not detach. And there's a big difference between peace and emptiness. 8. She avoids talking about the future. There's something quiet about her avoidance. It's not obvious. She doesn't panic when you mention the future. She just drifts, changes the topic, smiles and says, "Let's not think too far ahead." It sounds harmless, even carefree. But behind that softness often hides fear. Fear born from too many false starts. When a woman's had many short-term connections, she learns that plans rarely last. Promises fade, so she stops building castles in her mind. She learns to live in the moment, not because it's romantic, but because it's safer. If she avoids future talk, no talk about where things are going, meeting family, building stability, it's not that she doesn't want it. It's that she doesn't believe in it anymore. She's seen too many endings to trust beginnings. She might tell you she's taking things slow or not rushing. But deep down, she's already accepted the possibility that it'll end. That's why she doesn't invest emotionally in long-term dreams. You'll feel it in her presence. She'll love you in fragments, not in full. She'll show affection, but it never grows roots. Her love is like music on repeat, sweet, familiar, but never evolving. And you can't build a real bond with someone living only in now, because real love needs time, vision, and trust in tomorrow. She's not wrong for protecting herself, but she's stuck, trapped in survival love, not secure love. Her mind says, "Enjoy this," while her heart whispers, "Don't hope too much." That's the tragedy most men miss. You can't build a future with someone who quietly stopped believing in one. And the more you try to prove your sincerity, the more she pulls back. Not because she doesn't feel, but because she's scared of losing peace again. So if she avoids talking about the future, don't chase reassurance. Just see it for what it is. Emotional fatigue wearing the mask of freedom. Because love without vision isn't love. It's just comfort with an expiration date. Remember, this isn't about shaming women. It's about understanding psychology. People carry their history in their behavior. Some hide it behind charm, some mask it with independence. But if you watch close enough, the truth always leaks through the cracks. You don't need to judge her, just see her clearly. Because in relationships, blindness costs more than loneliness.